heavenly pleasures, the deeper pleasures, they have a reward because you're accomplishing the goals of love. And the Spirit recognizes those the way the body recognizes touch or hearing or something like that. And further in Heaven and Hell 397, by its very nature, heaven is full of pleasures, even to the point that if we see it as it really is, it is nothing but bliss and pleasure. This is because the divine good that emanates from the Lord's divine love constitutes heaven both overall and in detail for everyone there. And divine love is the intent that everyone should be saved and should be most profoundly and fully happy. This is why it is all the same whether you say heaven or heavenly joy. And remember, heaven is a state of mind. So this is the state of mind we're working towards, one that is full of joy and full of the desire to serve people, to accomplish the goals of getting other people to feel that same joy. That is the mindset of heaven, and that is a renewable source. And Swedenborg talks a little more about how we tap into that in Divine Providence 39, which we have set to video for your viewing and listening pleasure. So here it is.
Words cannot describe the varieties of heaven's bliss, rapture, pleasure, and delight, the joys of heaven, though these joys give us perceptible feelings in heaven. Anything we perceive only as a feeling is beyond description, because it does not fit neatly into mental concepts and therefore into words. Our discernment simply sees, and it sees things that have to do with wisdom or truth, but not things that have to do with love or what is good. The result is that heaven's joys are inexpressible, even though they are on the same rising scale as wisdom. They come in infinite variations, each one indescribable. I have both heard and felt this. However, these joys enter us only as we distance ourselves from compulsions to love what is evil and false, which distancing we do, apparently with our own strength, but in fact, from the Lord's strength. These joys are actually joys of loving desires for what is good and true, and they are directly opposed to the compulsions to love what is evil and false. The joys proper to desires for what is good and true have their source in the Lord, so they come from the center of our being. From there they spread into our lower reaches, all the way to the lowest. So they fill angels and make them virtually nothing but delight. These joys, with all their infinite variations, are found in every desire for what is good and true, especially in the desire for wisdom.
Because you can put in a lot of work into trying to do what was just said in that video, reject negative stuff, let in positive stuff, and through that grow spiritually. But it's not, if you do that in your life here, it's not like you will automatically be blissed out and so happy. You can put in a lot of spiritual work and still feel like you're struggling with just sort of subtle progress. It's not always fun, but that's okay. That's part of the process. Swedenborg says that heavenly joy is actually often subtle in this life. While you're still in a physical body, you get more subtle experiences of heavenly joy. His Heaven and Hell 409, where he talks about it at a bit of length. Actual heavenly joy as it is in and of itself is beyond description because it dwells in the deepest nature of angels. It flows from there into the details of their thought and affection, and from these into the details of their speech and action. It is as though their deeper levels were wide open and freed to accept a delight and bliss that spreads out through all their fibers and therefore through their whole being, giving them a kind of perception and feeling that simply cannot be described. Anything that arises from the deepest levels flows into the details that derive from those deepest levels and proliferates toward the outer levels, constantly gaining strength. When good spirits who have not yet experienced this pleasure, not having been raised into heaven yet, perceive it from the aura of love from some angel, they are filled with such pleasure that they find themselves in a kind of sweet faint. This often happens to people who want to know what heavenly joy is. So you can see that it's subtle, and that's sort of a protection because there's the risk of a sweet faint. We can't always handle it here. That you got to wait a little bit, but it's going to get better and better, and that's what heaven is this continual progression into deeper and deeper, fuller and fuller happiness.